Okay, well, hey neighbors, welcome to the Shed Shop in this edition of How To. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to stay if you like chainsaws. We're going to teach you how to change the chain brake handle on this because this one is broken over here. This is neighbor Ken's 391. You guys saw me diagnose this saw, find an air leak. We've put new crankshaft seals in for Ken and tuned his saw up, refreshed a few things. And this is his backup saw, but it's his favorite. And so he decided, yeah, I want to go ahead and spend $40 on a new handle. And I'm only charging him $15 extra labor to do this. And I gave him a discount. And the reason being because he's got health issues that I relate to. Ken was recently diagnosed with cancer. He was diagnosed with lung cancer. And so he's living with some battles that I face every day. And that is that he's going through chemo. And so that can wipe a human being out exponentially completely. And my pain does that to me. And so while we're not facing the same exact battle, we're facing a very similar battle. And so I've donated a few parts to him, whether he needs that or not. I just feel like somebody that's facing that kind of battle, just somebody being nice to them, even if they can't afford to pay me, just being nice to them, I hope it helps his life. And so, love you, neighbor Ken. We're going to go ahead and get to work here, neighbors. And we're going to show you step by step what you need to do to replace this. So the first thing I'm going to do is pause you, because you should know how to debar your saw. We're going to take sprocket cover off, take the bar off, and then we'll be back with you. Okay, once again, I do apologize about the light. I'm more comfortable working over here right now than I am in the small shop. I like having the door open and hearing the nature outside. So, the next thing we need to do after we get our bar and chain out of the way, guys, is we need to go ahead and get some damn air and clean our surfaces off a little bit. Okay. Fortunately, the compressor's next door, so we don't have to hear it run too much. Damn, dust in the eye. Wear safety glasses, neighbors. Right in the eye. Right in the eye. Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. I got a good dirt goober in the eye. Okay. I believe there's only two on this one. Yep. So we'll have two T27 screws to remove our dust cover here. Okay. So you can go ahead and take those out and pull your dust cover. You do have to, I think, pop this bumper strip off as well to get our dust cover. It is a little bit easier if you get that out of the way. Pull your dust cover. And now we have to go ahead and remove all these components to be able to get to our handle. The first thing you want to do is remove this circlip, okay? And be very careful. Just use your screwdriver. And there is, if we clean it off here. There's the compressor. You'll see here you can get behind the circlip here and just kind of pop it off. E-clip, C-clip, I don't know what the hell they call it. I call it nightmares. Okay, there we go. Yep, that little tiny thing is good. Our magnetic screwdriver, very good. Okay, now I do have a tool that makes it a little bit easier to pop these springs off, but you can just use a flathead screwdriver. Get behind your spring right here, okay? And you can make sure your chain brake is disengaged, okay? Because if you engage it, I'm sorry, let's see, yeah, disengage your chain brake, okay? Because that will decompress the spring. And then I like to point it toward my bench when I can, and I'll kind of keep my hand sometimes, and I'll just pop it off like that, okay? And it will come right off. The next thing we want to do is remove what is called the strap, and we do that by popping it off of this post, and we slide it there, okay? And it will come off of there, okay? The next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove this little black plastic washer, spacer. And then the next thing, we have a T20 down here for our chain brake band. Look, his AV mount is out. We'll fix that for him. A T20 for our chain brake band down here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I think it's a T20. Yep. Okay, we'll take that off. And then we will go ahead and pull our chain brake band out from this side. You can use a little screwdriver or something to pop it up, or pliers to pull it up right here. I don't have any good needle nose right in front of me, so we're going to do it this way, okay? Pop that out of there. We'll go ahead and disengage it. Well, I'm hoping I can do it without removing the sprocket. I think it's going to be easier to get our sprocket. Just get it out of the way. It doesn't take that much to get it off. So we'll pop that clip, pull our retaining washer, pull our sprocket out of the way, and that will make it easier to get our chain brake out of all the notches. Lift it up, turn it, and it will come off. Now, you're going to lift your handle right here and pry this up at the same time gently, okay, and it will come off. This one is not screwed on the other side because that's where it's broke, okay? So we'll take our, I think they call this a lever, I can't remember. Take our lever out. We don't need to remove our spring back here and everything, but we'll just clean this area up real quick and we'll be right back with you. Okay, I had to go grab my tool as well. This is for installing the spring, and you can see it sits right on the post. One could make this himself. I just went ahead and bought the $12 tool because it saves me time. Now, to assemble, we just go in the reverse direction. The first thing you want to do is clean your parts better, unlike I did. Don't do dirty. Okay. You go ahead and slide this in this one. Some of them have a notch down here. It goes in the front notch always on the stihls, okay? And then, oh, we better remove our old piece. Go ahead and get that out of the way with our T27 screw here, and it's going to have a collar that you want to make sure you hold on to. Okay, see it's got a collar there. And we'll deep six that chit, Rob Weaver. Okay, this too. Deep six that chit. Oh, I missed the trash can. Did myself dirty. Now I got to go pick it up off the ground. Okay, now we've got our lever in there. And we'll go ahead and start setting that on the post here. And then you can stretch it over the rest of it. Okay, it will stretch. Just be careful. Okay, get it over everything first this way. Okay, once you've got it, you can kind of turn this down, get it lined up with the post. Okay, and then everything should line up right there. And then you can use a screwdriver or pliers. And we're just going to push right here down on this arm here. Okay, that's attached to this spring so that this can slide in to its groove right here. Okay, so we'll turn that forward a little bit to get it closer. Push that down. And while we push that down, once it's lined up, we've got to push that on, okay? Whoops, I missed. See, I messed up there. Okay, so I got to fix that. I got to go and pry this back off. Just enough to get this on here, okay? That's on its post, and we'll redo that step. Okay, hold that there. Pull our spring down. There we go. Slide that all on. Okay, next we have, if you remember, that black spacer will go on next. Okay. I just feel like I'm trying to make sure everything is correct. Okay, next we can go ahead and clean our chain brake band and put it back on. One could, if he wanted to, go ahead and put his collar screw on right now. He can, but it's not going to hurt me not to have it on because that pretty much stays basically where it needs to be. For your chain brake band, just hook it on there. Okay. Potentially. You just kind of got to turn it until it falls into its place. Drop it down into its grooves here. Work it in. Okay. I feel like I shouldn't be struggling like this right with this. Okay, so I'm just pulling on it to make it smaller there. Okay. And we'll set it down in this groove. Make sure everything is nice and set where it needs to be. Take your T20 screw, go ahead and put that back in the bottom of your chain brake band here to secure it down here. Potentially. Sorry neighbors, I'm hurting real bad. I got to clean the head of the screw out. There we go, that should help. It did. We weren't getting enough bite on our screw. And you can use Loctite on this. I don't ever find saws with this screw missing, so I don't usually use Loctite on it unless I have it right in front of me and I'm using it for other stuff. I'm struggling with this screw a little bit. It doesn't want to grab. There we go. Okay, perseverance, right? And since our AV mount is out, we're going to have to fix that. Okay, I'm going to use a little spit since I don't have no press oil. Sorry, I'm spitting on your saw, Ken. Okay, and that goes in there. You can see it's got a little groove. It needs to sit on the plastic. Okay. Is that the right way? I think it actually goes the other way. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Yes, it would go. No, it goes that way. That's correct. No, it does not. I think that's incorrect, neighbors. Let's see here. I might have to take his saw partially apart because I don't think that's correct. I'm going to put it in and see what it looks like on the underneath here. Okay. And when I look at it and I see that it cannot touch against the frame, I know that's incorrect. So I don't think I will be able to get it, but we're going to try real quick. I might have to get something to create me some space here. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to tilt it up and work it into where it needs to be. And hopefully we can pop it in so it gets and seats where it needs to be. Okay, this one might take a minute. This is kind of hard to do if you don't take the saw apart and have space to work this in. And that is the thing. Sometimes that is simply what you have to do. You have to... I'm not even quite sure why this was out like that. Potentially the last person that worked on it, or when I had it apart, I could have made this error myself. But there we go. We got it. Yep, we did. Okay, excellent. I had it. Darn it. Okay, there we go. Okay, excellent. So that's back where it needs to be. Let's go back up here. Next thing you need to do is your strap, okay? And it's, again, notched out on this side, so we put it on there and slide it forward. Okay. My hands are greasy. Okay, it just needs a little convincing, I guess. Here we go. I don't usually have to do that. That's kind of new. But it will be okay. And then we put our circlip back on. Okay. These little ones I can usually push with my finger. Alright. And then the next thing we do is our chain spring. Okay. Go there. And if you don't have this tool, you can use like a flathead or something. You can use pliers. I often use needle nose, and I'll grab it and pull it and set it on the post. But ever since I found out Stihl made this tool, I really like to use it. And that being said, we want to disengage this as much as possible. Hook that onto our post. And go ahead and slide our spring on. And then that just spins out of the way. I really like that tool. Okay, now we'll check the functionality of it. Disengage it. We need to put our sprocket on. Where'd my bearing go? I must have dumped my bearing out. I did. Okay, I will have to re-grease this, but for purpose of time, my grease is next door, so I will do that after the fact. Okay, you got to line up your notch for your worm gear. Put your retaining washer on. These ones, I encourage you to use pliers. I do not have any here, so I'm going to do it the dumb way. Very carefully. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Okay, that is back on. Let's check our chain brake. It appears to be working. We'll operate it several times. Make sure it's working for Ken. And then the final thing we have to do, we will put our dust cover back on. You've got 3 notches down here. His is broken right here, but I don't think it's going to hurt him any. And so to save him, like, you know, a $30 bill, potentially 20 or 30, I don't know how much they're charging for this damn cover. We will go ahead and reuse this part because I think it is just fine like that. I don't think it's going to kill his saw to have it running like that. It's probably just been hit with a chain at one point. I did donate him a new chain tensioner. And then you guys just put on your bumper strip. Okay. Then you'll put your your 2 T27 screws back in. Right here and here. I need to go get Loctite. This is something I like to Loctite. This is a 391, even though it's got a 311 badge. I used an aftermarket rim sprocket. And what I do is I usually engrave my sprockets for my neighbors, so they know what they have, because not everybody understands this stuff. And so when they go to the dealer, if they can't get it from me, see, like I'm feeling that right now. He needs a new bearing, okay? Because look at the movement in that. That side-to-side movement is too much. And so I'll go ahead and donate him an aftermarket needle cage bearing there as well. And that's it. I encourage you to Loctite these. This is a 64cc saw and has a fantastic AV. But use some blue Loctite, some blue thread lock. Very simple. And then put your bar and chain back on, and then go cut you some wood and have a good time. And while we do that, what are we going to do, neighbors? We're going to be kind to one another, because everyone's facing a battle. I love all 8 billion of you, even though I suck at it, damn it. Till next time, neighbors.